And hello, Shock fans. Your beloved Soldier of the Inverted Cross, Rip the Full Blown Freak Show, here for a special review of my Bionicles. As you guys know, the Bionicle sets we got for the heroes were pretty awesome. A few very minor complaints. I may have already said them, like Pohatu was too short, or I just wasn't a big fan of how the armor stacked up on some, and I wasn't a huge fan of the gear function. Glad they included it because it was a big nod back to the original series. So thumbs up on that. And you don't have to have the gear system if you want. I don't anymore. And I did a few modifications to fix up things like when I made Pohatu scale correct. I was thinking I don't like how Onua is now the shortest one and how he was the biggest guy in the series. That's fixed. I'm going to show these mocks off in the order that I pulled the books off here. I'll tell you guys how to do them. They're very minor. Won't be showing basic construction or anything of them, but okay. First off is Tahu. Here's what Tahu looked like, and you guys can Google image this. You see how the shoulders appear a bit floaty, and you can kind of see the gappage right in here. Wasn't a huge fan of that, so I fixed it. Let me grab Tahu. If you got, and this should be a pretty easy fix before I shut off. If you guys can find Raw Jaw, you can pretty much get all the parts you need. Because Raw Jaw is the only character I know that has these parts in that color. The Hero Factory fist pieces. These cover his joints better. You can put the gold on them still, and that still looks great. And to fill out the chest here, because that's another thing that irked me about them. When they connected to the two bodies, they had two ball joints hidden under their chest, and you could sometimes see them at certain angles. Two of the very small red pieces, they fit right in and fill out his chest. They don't impede articulation because I didn't intend on doing any modifications of these guys that it messed up their posability, because they're Bionicle, they're supposed to be posable. The other mod is very simple. When you replace the pieces like this, when you replace these pieces that are on this, you get two sets. You get one for here, one for here. When you replace the hose with this, that leaves you with, well, actually the other piece that's up here is the orange, transparent orange. You have those two pieces left over. If you have two of the body connectors, you can construct a back for the legs the same way as Kopaka has. That solves the main issue that most people have said they had with this, the gap. It's solved now. Tahu is pretty much 100% perfect now. I love the way he looks, and I'm really happy with it. Give you one more good view of him. He's filled out now. He looks better. Just a much better all-around look to him. I'll set him. Let me just find it. Give me like a second or so to set these down and grab the next book. Okay, now this modification, I can't remember everything I did for it, but Lewa. Find the picture in the back of the book that's bigger. Lewa was a bit too limited in his articulation. Problem being, the gear system was a major thing, and I took that off. Another thing was, I didn't like how his head was nestled down between those two spikes. That problem, like Tahu's, has been fixed. Also, he's got some custom weapons. I think you've probably seen those if you watch my Bionicle slideshow thing. Yeah. Basically, what I did here was I took the gear system out. Well, I didn't actually take the gear system out of this guy, I'll be honest with you. But I took the gears out and blocked them off with the yellow pieces. What I did then, instead of having the arms on this ball joint, I moved them to the front of the body. Thing is, you are going to need one of the bodies, I think, yes. They give you the bodies like, I think I have one right here, yeah. These are the sort of bodies they give you for Lewa. I'm not sure with all of them. You need one that's like this, with the two shoulder joints here. That gives enough space to move the arms out, like that, and keep the spikes in their position. By doing that, you put some space between the body. When you put the space between the body, it allows for you to sit these to the side. Therefore, his head now can completely look everywhere, like with the others. These axes are pretty simple builds. I'll let you guys look at them really quick. It's the axe, the yellow connector piece, a rod, and the little sword. He comes with all those parts, I'm pretty sure. This this mod and the Tahu mod can't be done without buying other figures, I don't think, because you need that body piece. So get him in a good pose and just sit him back to the side. Really happy with how Lewa turned out. He's now, I don't have a least favorite now. He was my least favorite due to the build, like I said, the way his head being snugged down. I'm saving Onua for last because he's the biggest one I changed. Gali. Now, my problem with Gali was the same as with Tahu. The shoulders look way too high up there. These guys aren't 80s hair metal band. I love hair metal, but these big shoulder pads were not what they needed. The fist pieces would look too masculine on her, and they don't even make those in blue to my knowledge. I could have painted them, but that's not what I did. What I did was, once I took the gear system out, I took the blue pieces, the big blue armor pieces, and put them on her arms with the armor attachments. Then I took the light blue pieces and connected to the thing I said that irked me the most, the clearly visible ball joints. Now she has these clear pieces behind her plate on her chest, and her arms are still fully posable, and her shoulders don't set 20 feet in the air. But she is still armored looking. She doesn't look weak. She hasn't changed at all in that. I'm going to set her closer, just because I'm going to be using for a size comparison near the end. I'll be using Tahu for one. These are just basically the closest I could get to making her original hooks. Not too bad. She's now a much better figure to me with that modification. Next, Kopaka. Now, Kopaka, haven't really done anything other than I took the gear and blocked the gear with this piece, this little gray piece, to keep the arms from moving, because mine did have loose joints. If the gear system doesn't cause the articulation to droop like mine did, I'd say leave it. I had to take it off, though, and I just took it off of all of them, so that problem wouldn't happen. I combined the two swords here, and he has the shield that came with the little guy. He was the bad guy in the last movie, the final movie, Bionicle movie. I don't remember it, but that's all I really did to him. I was going to add some white pieces right on the inside of here, but these are connected via that, so he looks bulky enough without it. But Kopaka is actually one of my favorites. He's probably my favorite of the new ones. I love Kopaka's mask. I always loved his design as a kid. I knew he is one of my favorites just because he was the first one I ever got as a kid. Okay, Pohatu's got some changes, weapon-wise, because the boomerangs suck, guys. I hate to break it to you. They suck. You can't pose them well. Like him, you can pose him throwing one, but you can't have one mid-air striking an enemy on your shelf. So I came up with a better weapon for him that kind of matched his colors. The problem with him was he was way too short. Like, ridiculously shorter than them. You see, look at my video review where I reviewed them before I modified them. Should be like Rip's Big Bionicle Special or Big Bionicle Special 2. It was the second one. He was as short as the freaking Protectors. Like, barely any taller. Simple solution to this. I added this, let me put my finger on it, this one joint right here. That makes him as tall as Gali and Lewa. I don't know why they chose to make him shorter, since he was the same price point. Now he is their height. We'll get on to the other modifications I've done to him. He has Surge's sword. These little green pieces are from his boomerangs. The way I wrote this, or not wrote this in, the way I've kind of justified having the sword here is that this is made from the kinetic energy that he gets when using the Mask of Speed to run really fast. It builds up energy, making it like an energy blade. The other thing I did was, I'm not sure, let me grab the book, the because I've got the book right here. Let me see what kind of body he came with. If he came with one of the standard short ones, or the yeah, he came with one of these bodies. You're going to need the same one I had for Lewa, same one, with the double shoulders to give you the space you'll need. You'll move the arms onto this forward, onto this, the front of the body. In the back, the modification I did was I took 2 silver pieces I had. These didn't come with him. And since he has silver, a lot of silver, I hooked it up after I'd gutted the gear system with these pieces. This kind of gives him a little bit more of a complete look. I had some spare spikes I put over here. Not necessary, I just put them because I like the spikes. That's all I really did with Pohatu. He's a much better. He was actually, I think, my least favorite. Lewa, it's actually my least favorite was tied between Lewa because of the crappy head articulation thing, and Pohatu because he was way too short. Now, before we get on to my Takanuva mock that I've updated once more, not really a severe update, I'm just shutting it off. Onua. Onua was the biggest guy in the show, or the little animation if you watched him. Not a big fan of him being the freaking Hulk. I know he's the strongest, but I didn't want to be the Hulk. So I didn't make him tower over them. I made him just a bit taller than the others, just barely. Before I show the scale, I am going to just show off. I did take out, again, the system of the gears. Yeah, the gears. This mod might cost you a bit more. I don't know about what sets come or with the pieces, like what pieces come with each set and so on. Let me lift his arms out of the way. I added a leg joint, just a basic knee joint in there. Now, I didn't have any black pieces, so I painted some black, and they look fine. They blend in just fine. These are the longer pieces, the longer black pieces. One came with the Scorpion from Savage Planet, or whatever, Hero Factory Savage Planet, or whatever it was called. I forgot where I got the other one from, but it is those long pieces. This makes them taller. I think this part might be in the instructions, I will say it. You can hook the silver hoof piece that was like with the overkill figure I've done down here, and it kind of feels out just a bit more. The only thing that's changed now is he's more posable. The other thing, if you do this mod, you don't have to do this, and it works with the protector feet. I just haven't did it with the protector feet because I don't have any extra ones, and this works just fine. The piece that's got 2 crossbars in it, and then the little hole in the bottom. You just jam them right in the back. They give him just a bit more of a heel, and he's perfectly standing, no matter where I stand him. Now, scale for Onua, I'm going to use Gali, because she's here. He's bigger than her. That's fine. I like that. Onua's supposed to be the biggest, according to the new one. But I didn't like him being the freaking Hulk, so I fixed that. Tahu is the tallest, because Kopaka is barely shorter than, what's his face? Tahu's barely, like, not even by much. He is barely taller than him. Like, if I put him behind him, you're not even going to see much. He's not much taller. But he does look better being just a bit taller. Because I never saw Tahu as being the tallest, I'll be honest with you. I always saw Tahu as just being an average-sized guy. It's like, the hero, you never imagine the main hero to be the big, tall guy. Like the hulking one. He's big, but he's never the size of, like, a mountain. He's not the brute. The brute is rarely the main character. The last one is my custom Takanuva, which you guys are probably sick of seeing this thing by now. I know I am. And I love the thing. Basically, all I did, and it doesn't 100% please me, was in here I put longer joints so he could actually move his arms. He could move them better. He could move them forward, and they weren't long enough. They felt really short to me. On the back, I've done a little more work here by adding another body piece in, and adding another one of these, and adding a gold bit of armor to fill it out more. That's all I really did with this. I wanted to do more, but there wasn't really much I could do because I ran out of parts. There is one other review coming up, and I was going to actually film that review today, but I'm having to paint the pieces, kind of like I did with Onua. I needed to paint 5 pieces. I've painted 3. I have to wait for the other 2 to dry. The other 3 have already dried and are on the figure. But I will give you guys a silly little hint. If you guys, this guy's went through like so many freaking changes, drastic changes since I made him. You remember the Herald of Makuta? If you watched one of my first mock videos, it was the Herald of Makuta, and he was this little runt. And I said his name was Harold the Herald. This guy's just named Harold. The Herald of Makuta is coming, and he'll be way, way more threatening to the Toa. This little guy who's shorter than the protectors. This guy basically was just a gag I did for fun. I mean, any of my serious mocks don't use the old Bionicle parts because they break so easily, and I really enjoy posing them. What I can say about the Herald of Makuta, the last hint I'll give you, he's an upgrade of another figure from a line that Lego's done with a few minor modifications and a big size increase. I haven't named him yet, and I don't know what I'll name him yet, but I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. He's armored, well armored, what has massive wings. I want to look off screen and see how tall he is compared to Onua, just so I can say how much bigger he is than him. Let me check. Oh yeah, he's a whole head bigger than Onua. He's a whole freaking head bigger than Onua. So yeah, he's way bigger than the Toa. Actually, probably bigger than the Shadow Nuva. Not Shadow Nuva, but Shadow. Yeah, well, yeah, Shadow Nuva, whatever I named it. He's bigger than him. So yeah, until next time, I hope this has been helpful to you guys to make the mocks. Again, Gali's, Lewas, and Pohatus. You do have to have the Hero Factory body types. With Onua, you're going to have 2 extra knee pieces for his knees, and 2 extra black armor pieces. You don't have to have the giant ones I had; they just look better. If you had just a normal sized one, it would look fine, I guess. I just prefer the giant ones. Kopaka's mock, you can do by just taking the gear system out. If you don't have that little shield, it's fine. But that's he's the least mocked one, least custom or modded. I don't know why I've been saying mock because they're not my own creations. They're just upgrades to the Lego. This guy, you're going to need 2 more of the silver pieces, 1 of the Hero Factory bodies, the sword, and 2 of the little joints to upgrade his height. If that bothers you, it really bothered me. Tahu, you're going to have raw jaw. That's the only way I know to get those 2 pieces. And I think raw jaw will come with the 2 smaller pieces to fit to his chest. When you do that, you'll need the 2 like ball pieces to hook to the back of his leg to do the kind of build like Kopaka has. The other one, Lewa, you'll have again the Hero Factory body that I mentioned with the ball joints, then the arm joints with the ball joint. And I'll grab a Lewa just to be sure. Yeah, the gear system is the same. I just took the gears out. But other than that, the one I would suggest you do the most, and it's a tie, and I think you guys already know what it's going to be. Either, if you're only fixing up 1, because the other ones are fine. Well, actually, the one I would recommend the most would be the Onua one to make him taller. Pohatu, especially if you do the Pohatu one, because then Onua just ends up being way, way too short compared to everyone else. Pohatu is the one I would recommend the most just to fix his scale. Onua and him tie for first on the most important. Then to fix his head articulation, Lewa. The Lewa one, I mean, if the articulation of the head doesn't bother you, hey, leave it. But the Onua, if you do the Pohatu, Onua is going to be the shortest one, and it doesn't look right. And I would suggest you did the mock to him as well. Lewa, just like I said, the articulation. So until next time, this has been your beloved soldier of the inverted cross, Rip the Full-Blown Freak Show. Hope this video helped you guys improve the Toa, or you just liked it. Until next time, farewell.